All right, let's talk a little Georgia recruiting because just as quickly as the Dogs surged into the number one spot this week, Texas knocks them down, only to number two. Atkinson to Texas, James Johnson flips to Texas. So, Steve, what's Georgia's next move to fill the spot of Johnson's departure on that defensive line?
Well, there's two defensive linemen that Georgia's trending for right now. You have Valdinsoni, a four-star recruit from Sweden, who's going to be announcing his college decision in the coming week. And the Bulldogs are trending heavy. Nebraska, the other program to watch in that recruitment right now with some of the things that they're doing off the football field. But Georgia is the program that I think is in best position for Valden. And then you have local in-state four-star recruit Anthony Lanone. I joined Jeremy Johnson from Dogs HQ with a rivals prediction in favor of Georgia. I think he is trending heavy to the Bulldogs as well. So that's two more defensive linemen with major upside, the traits that they covet at the point of attack. Trey Scott in the middle of all those recruitments. They want to be developed by the best in the country. Georgia is the program that's in the best position for each of those coveted recruits.
All right, so we talked about Tyler Atkinson going to Texas, the coveted linebacker from in-state. They miss on him, but a day later, Georgia goes into Maryland and lands four-star Nick Abrams. Steve, he goes 6'2", 220. What type of player are the Dogs getting in Abrams?
A long, high upside, very high IQ football player that plays with the physicality that Coach Glenn Schumann, Coach Smart, and company covet at the position. He's still growing into that massive frame. And again, he plays fast because he is an instinctual, high IQ player and a guy that Georgia absolutely coveted during his process. He also strongly considered Alabama, came down to Georgia and Oregon. Michigan made a couple pushes at the end, but it was always Georgia for their player development, relationship with the staff. And then he wants to be a business major. Georgia, one of the toughest schools, one of the toughest public schools in the country to get into. And Georgia's business school is something that's very exciting to him as well.
So, according to your intel, who else is Georgia making a priority right now on the recruiting trail?
Well, we talked about the two defensive linemen. Obviously, they would love to land the number 2 running back in the country, Derek Cooper. They're pushing for him, and I think he's someone that's kind of in that same stratosphere of, look, we went all in on Jackson Cantwell. We went all in on Jared Curtis. Derek Cooper, someone that's been at the top of their board for the entire cycle with the likes of Tyler Atkinson, Mark Bowman, and Caden Prothro and company. And they've been in great position for Derek Cooper for much of his process, but Texas coming on strong at the end, and we know Miami's not going to go away. Isaiah Williams, linebacker committed to Ole Miss. I think dialogue continues with Rivals number 1 ranked running back in Georgia. We'll see if he gets on campus this fall, but Coach Glenn Schumann and company maintaining the lines of communication with Isaiah Williams. But Georgia's about done. Running back's another place where I could see them looking to land someone. If they don't get Derek Cooper, they'll evaluate senior tape. Maybe it's a guy like in-state recruit Amari Latimer, currently committed to Wisconsin. A player like that is someone to keep an eye on for Georgia. The Bulldogs are very keen on senior film, and they flip a top prospect or two every year, a guy that rose on their board that kind of came out of nowhere, but someone they fell in love with on senior tape. That's going to be something to monitor with Georgia during the season.